Sounds about right? The best part is, most of these thoughts are not original. Most of them are either about the past or the future. It was Einstein who said, in your lifetime, if you have one original thought, you're a genius. Studies today show that we are on 4 to 5 different platforms at the same time when we are working. 4 to 5 different platforms at the same time. Browser, WhatsApp, email, something else. We look at our smartphones 250 to 300 times a day. Do the math. That's once in 2 to 3 minutes. I'm watching you. I know who's going to pick it up in the next few seconds also. And what happens? Every time you look at it, your mind goes somewhere else. Mind wanders. Do you know the World Health Organization says that almost 80% of all diseases are stress related? Now, what is stress? It's not out there. It's not something in the supermarket. Stress is what we are producing in response to what is out there. That's actually quite depressing. 80%. Wait a minute. Did they say this was supposed to be some motivational? No, right? Because I know I'm sounding a little depressing right now. But there is good news. This can be fixed. This can be fixed. In fact, this is my life's purpose. This is what I do to help people and companies. So, very quickly, who am I? I know you saw some fancy stuff earlier, but leaving that aside, like I said, I'm someone who doesn't have any formal schooling. There's a very interesting story to that because I was born to writer, teacher, parents who didn't believe in the educational system. They only thought it put stuff into your head. So for almost 15 years, they did not send me to school. Instead, I was taught to be curious. I was taught to engage with nature. I was taught to ask a lot of questions. Of course, I did enter formal education at some point. Don't worry, I'm not illiterate. But that sort of set the trend for the rest of my life. I started very early getting into training my mind. In my early 20s, I started with something called the Silva method of mind control. Clearly, Vinay's heard of it. From there, I moved into yoga, meditation. Couldn't meditate very well. Because what, at 20-something, who wants to sit and close your eyes? Yeah. I was a young, restless chap. Didn't want to do that. Then I gravitated towards Zen. And then I discovered that meditation is actually not something you do. You don't have to sit with your eyes closed. You can actually be in a state of meditation no matter what you do. And they actually have a word for it called mindfulness. So I said, Areva, this sounds interesting. This is what I must look into. So there I started my journey of mindfulness. I've learned from many, many teachers, many masters, many of whom are not well known, some of whom are very well known. I come from Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh's School of Mindfulness. Over the years, I also gathered a lot of monastic experiences. I used to go live in monasteries, especially my Zen Master's monastery. While I was doing all this, don't think this was all I was doing. So it's not like I was sitting in a cave all the time. I was also in the corporate world like you. In my last full-time role working for somebody else, I was a managing director at IDEO, the Silicon Valley design company. IDEO is best known as the company that designed the first computer mouse for Apple and Steve Jobs. Right. But at some point when I was in my Zen Master's monastery, I was encouraged to become a teacher. So I came back and I said, this is better than managing a P&L, so let me start teaching. I think that seemed to go okay because I got some good feedback. So then I moved completely into teaching. And that's what I do today. In 2019, 2018, I also started teaching at Google's Leadership Institute. Google's got a very interesting leadership institute called Search Inside Yourself. You know why? Because they said you can't search for everything on Google. Some things you have to search inside yourself. So I started teaching there in 2018. Pandemic happened. A lot of clients came back and said, how can you, I was just sharing this with Vinay. A lot of clients came back and said, how can you take this to more people? So we put together a small team. We built a tech-enabled solution to help us. And so that's what I do today. So that's a little bit behind the scenes about what I do and why maybe I'm okay to just stand here a little bit and talk about how to train your mind. Importantly, how do you do this? Right? I don't want to just leave you with theoretical stuff. I want to show you how to do it. I know we have only a few minutes, but still, we'll give it a shot. Right? So how do you do this? It's as simple as this. Most of the time in your life, you're in a state of autopilot. Think about it. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Be honest, please. Pick up the phone. Yeah, thank goodness somebody didn't say I pray or I look at a picture of, because I wouldn't have believed you. Yeah, we look at our phones. That's how the day starts. And then what happens? It starts working. Right? You go to brush your teeth, you're already thinking of the day ahead. When you have a shower, maybe half the office is also there discussing some presentation. Right? You eat breakfast, you're looking at mails or the news. You get into traffic if you're driving to work. If you're in Bangalore, you'll abuse a few people on the way. Right? You get to work, 4 or 5 different platforms. Multitasking, they say. Who thinks multitasking is cool? Right? Not at all. I agree with that. In fact, I say multitasking is when you're doing multiple tasks equally badly at the same time. And then before you know it, your day is over. And then if you're one of those 70% of those Fortune 500 kinds, then you need help to wind down. Right? So this is the autopilot state that we are in. And all it takes is to learn how to train your mind to move from this autopilot state to awareness. It is that simple. Even if we don't do it 100%, if we learn to do it in bits and pieces, it still has a huge effect on your mental health and the way you feel. Many times we think success is key to happiness, isn't it? I actually tell you, happiness is key to success. And training your mind helps you find that happiness, which then helps you find success better. Right? So the equation is completely the other way around. What happened to this? Can someone move me to the next one? Manually, maybe, if that's not working. Opportunity to practice awareness right now. Right. So, what are some autopilot traits? Is it working? Thanks. What are some autopilot traits? Let's just look at it. Most of the time, attention is in the past or the future. Yeah? Even right now, just pause and check. Where's your mind right now? What drinks or what dinner? Right? Oh, Bangalore traffic after that, tomorrow, Saturday, and then you'll bring it back here. And then 15 seconds later, oh shoot, I should have sent that email. Right? This is the nature of the mind. Right? And this is what happens. Attention is in the past or the future, we are distracted. The other day I was waiting to meet somebody, and I was waiting outside a cafe, on the footpath, for that person, I see them coming, and they walked right past me because they were in some other world. Right? Sounds familiar? We're less aware. We miss all the good stuff in life. And we're constantly acting on assumptions and habit patterns. Right? We think this is efficient, but in the long run, this actually destroys your mental health. Because life is actually right now. It's happening right now. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, it's happening right now. You've made the choice to be here, hopefully, in this room. Are you really here? That's the thing. How do you stop this? This is the key. This is the key. How do you get off this autopilot? And the answer lies in this one simple word, mindfulness. Being aware. Being aware. There's no rocket science, just being aware. You don't have to think of meditation in a very complicated way. You don't have to go stand in the Himalayas on one leg or sit in a cave. You don't have to grow a white long beard. No. In the moment, you can find awareness in whatever you're doing. Whatever you're doing. And that's the best way and the most powerful way. Being aware. I want you to try something to show you how simple this is. This practice actually has 3 steps. It involves 3 breaths. Shall we try it? You're all breathing anyway, no? Yeah. Autopilot, there you go. See, that's the thing, right? This is the first thing you do when you're born. Right? You breathe. It's the last thing you'll do here in this lifetime. Yet in between, unless you catch a cold, or you have asthma, or worse, there's something like COVID that happens, we forget about it. One of the most important things. And I'll show you how simple it is to become aware. No mantra, no Himalayas, no ashram, no monastery, not even an app. Just using what is already with you. In fact, this is there with you all the time. Whether your mobile phone is there or not, your breath is there. Right? And it will take only 3 breaths. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to listen carefully first, understand the steps, and then I want you to try it on your own. Okay? So first step, first breath. As you breathe in and you breathe out, you just notice that you're breathing. Don't start right now. Don't start right now. Listen to me first. So, like this. That's all. Step 1, breath 1. Clear? Okay, now watch me. Step 2, breath 2. Just take your attention to your body. You'll see that there is some tightness, some tension here, there. Just see if you can soften that. And breath 3. Just silently ask yourself, what's the most important thing right now? When I ask myself that, for me it's being here with you. Not Q2 numbers, not what I'm going to have for dinner, not tomorrow. No, I'm here. I made the choice to come here. I came a long way, by the way, to be with you this evening. So I just want to be here completely. There's nothing else on my mind. And you can do this too. Go ahead and try it. I'll guide you. Give it a shot. See how it feels. It'll change the way you're feeling in 3 breaths. All right? Let's do this. Step 1, breath 1. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, notice that you're breathing out. Step 2, breath 2. As you breathe in, notice your body. And as you breathe out, just soften your body. Let your body relax. Step 3, breath 3. As you breathe in, just ask yourself, what's the most important thing to me right now? And as you breathe out, just see what comes up for you in your mind. Simple, right? How did that feel? Sleepy? I'm going to put you to sleep next. This was just the trailer. So it's something as simple as this. You know how many times I do this? In a day, 50, 60 times, I would imagine. Every now and then, if I go to the restroom, I just pause for a moment. It takes 3 breaths, 6 seconds, 10 seconds. Reboot, reboot, reboot. And if you're constantly doing this, you're keeping yourself there. Right? This is like cycling. Everyone cycles here? What happens in cycling? Have you thought about it? You sit on the cycle first, then you start pedaling and you push. Now look at it in micro slow motion. What happens? You actually start falling to one side. Correct? Then you'll correct that. Then you start falling to the other side. You correct that. And you move forward. Gives you balance. The same way, your mind, when it wanders, you just bring it back. It'll wander again. Bring it back again. It'll wander again. Bring it back again. You just try doing this for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and see the effect it has for you. People think, oh, mindfulness meditation means my mind should not wander. Sometimes I ask people, did your mind wander? They say no. I get very worried then. Because if your mind doesn't wander, then it means you don't have a mind. If you have a mind, it will wander. That is the job of the mind. Let it do its job. Can you bring it back? That's all. There is no failure here. Failure is only if you don't bring it back. That's all. That's all there is to this. Mindfulness is as simple as this. Can you repeatedly bring it back to the present moment? Whatever you're doing, you're writing an email, you're speaking with somebody. What happens these days when you're speaking with somebody? They're usually on their phone. How disrespectful does that feel? They're not listening to you. Their attention is somewhere else. Yeah. And it's everywhere if you look at it. There's distraction. So mindfulness can be practiced any moment. People say, oh, I'm not working out because time hi nahi hai. But for mindfulness, you don't need time. Whatever you're doing, can you do it with a little more awareness? That's all. You don't have to do anything different. Like you don't have to go to the gym. Whatever you're doing, can you do it with awareness? You know what my favorite mindfulness practice is? Brushing my teeth. It's my first meditation of the day. How many of you take 2 minutes to brush your teeth? All right? How many of you take 5? How many of you take 10? I take about 10. So for me, every day I go, I pick up my brush, I look at it. Brush is still there. Wow. Then I touch it, feel it. Is it pokey? Is it still, doing its job? Then I take the paste, I put a little paste. These days, pastes are nice. They have glitter and all inside. So I put some paste. Have you tried smelling it? Paste smells good. Yeah, lots of fragrance in it. And then, even if I'm traveling, I put the seat of the toilet down, I sit, close my eyes, and I brush very slowly for 10 minutes. Really enjoy the brush going here, there, everywhere. So you're anyway brushing your teeth. Can you brush with a little more awareness? You're anyway having a shower. Can you have it with a little more awareness? Can you feel the water, temperature, smell the soap? You're anyway eating? Can you eat with little more awareness? I like doing this. I grab people at around lunchtime randomly and I say, hey, what did you have for breakfast today? They're like, wait, oh, I had idlis. Then I try the same thing. I grab them in the evening and I say, what did you have for breakfast today? Wait a minute. Did I have breakfast today? Right? Because when you're eating, your mind is somewhere else. You don't notice what you're eating, right? And some people are actually proud that they eat when they're driving. And they're talking on the phone. How efficient, wow. So mindfulness is very simple, very simple. This is how you can do it. I'm going to give you a little tougher challenge now. Yeah, no free dinner today. Up for it? Slightly tougher challenge. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you to think of a problem you're facing in your life. Possible? Anyone here who doesn't have a problem? It could be from any aspect of your life. Professional, personal, doesn't matter. Let's say somebody's been a little difficult. Could be your partner, child, colleague, boss, anybody. Right? Just think first of a problem. We will speak separately. First, I just want you to think of a challenge that you might be facing in your life right now, from your professional life or your personal life. I'll give you a few seconds first to identify that problem because I want you to recall it. Think about who is involved in that situation, what is happening. Just everybody has something? Yes? Okay. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Please put your phone aside onto the table, or don't worry, nothing will happen in 5 minutes. Nothing will happen. The world will be the same. It will be better, in fact. Right? Put your phone aside and just see if you can sit in a nice, comfortable way. Don't get very comfortable because otherwise you'll fall asleep. Right? Also try to be a little alert for the next few minutes. Okay. What I'm going to do now is very simple. It's very simple. How many senses do you have? 5. Sure? Okay. Okay. So we'll say 5 for a minute. I'm going to take you through becoming aware of those 5 senses. Simple. Is that okay? I'm going to ask you to just become aware of your senses. I'll guide you through it. Don't worry. And then we'll see what happens. All right? So let's do this. So once you are settled in a good position, please see if you can make a small intention to yourself that for the next few minutes, you will try not to shift or do something restless or suddenly scratch, or better still, open your eyes, look at your mobile phone. Just see if you can make a silent mental promise to yourself that for the next few minutes, you will follow my instructions carefully. Just challenge yourself like this. All right? Okay. So first, please become aware that you are here. Whatever that means for you. Can you become aware that you are here in this room? And let's start by becoming aware of how you're sitting. Notice your posture. Notice the weight of your body on the chair. Maybe notice your feet on the ground. All right. As you do this, maybe your eyes would have closed to help you concentrate. Naturally, your eyes might have closed, and that is fine. If that has happened, that is fine. Take your awareness now to notice the sounds around you. Let's start with the first sensation of sound. What are the sounds around you? Become really alert. What are the sounds you can hear? There's the sound of my voice. There are some other voices, perhaps from outside. Without judging any of them to be good or bad, just become really alert. What can you hear? The sound of the air conditioning, music. Maybe you can even hear yourself breathing. Imagine you're like a cat now, waiting for a mouse, really alert. What is the next sound that you can hear? With the same degree of awareness, notice what tastes are present for you, or just notice that there is no taste in your mouth. But taking your entire awareness into noticing the sensation of taste. Take your awareness now to the sensation of smell. Notice if there are any smells present for you, or just notice that there are no smells. Moving your awareness now to the sensation of sight, even though your eyes are closed, keeping them closed. Become aware of any colors or any images in your eyelids. Or maybe there's nothing. Maybe there's just darkness. Maybe some flashes of colors. Just become really aware of the sensation of sight. And finally, take your awareness to the sensation of touch. The touch of fabric on your skin, the touch of the cool breeze on your face, your contact with the chair, the surface beneath you. And now, bring to mind an incident or situation that you thought of. Just allow it to arise in your consciousness and see how it feels for you now. Take your awareness to your breath now. Notice that you're still breathing. Notice how it's cool when you breathe in, warm when you breathe out. Notice how your body rises and falls as you breathe. And then, as we prepare to end this little exercise, take a deep breath in and exhale. And another deep inhale and exhale. And one more. And whenever you feel ready, gently and softly opening your eyes. Checking on your neighbor to see if they're awake. I'd like to ask you what happened and how did your difficult situation or the problem or the challenge seem? Was there any reflection that came up for you? Anybody? Felt smaller. Felt smaller. Who else agrees with that? Okay, I see a few hands up. Right, it felt smaller. You can overcome the challenge. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, well, look, we had how much time in this exercise? Less than 5 minutes. And in less than 5 minutes, if you can create a perspective shift, that the problem is not as big as I thought it was, or I can overcome it. What do you think consistent, regular mental training can do for you? You're releasing the tension within, right? Imagine if there is little or no tension. No, it is possible. It is possible. It's not utopia, trust me. It is possible. I may not be at zero, but definitely I don't have to be full of tension and dying with tension, right? I can make a shift. And that shift is what I'm talking about. Because a problem is a problem only when you think it's a problem. You can Google this up. Matthew Ricard. Matthew Ricard is a French Zen monk. He is considered the happiest man on the planet. I've had the pleasure of meeting him, and he says something really beautiful. He used to work with the Dalai Lama earlier. And he says, there's no point in worrying. If there's a problem, find a solution, then you can stop worrying. If there's a problem and there isn't a solution, stop worrying because it will not help anyway. Scientists have found that his brain waves are off the charts. When they measure the brain waves, they're off the charts. He is always in that happiness zone. You don't have to become Matthew Ricard or a monk or shave your head. And that's the point I want to make. And this is what I help people with. Not becoming monks, because that's easy. You can go to a monastery and everybody is like that. But in everyday life, how do you achieve this? 3 things I can share with you. I call them my 3 C's. This is like my personal formula. As a CEO, what do? I work on my consciousness. I work on my consciousness. Consciousness is nothing but being. We say we are human beings. We become human doings. When was the last time you just beed? I know there isn't a word like that, but you get it. We're incapable of being. There are interesting experiments these days where they put people into a room where there's only one table and a chair and nothing else. That person is not allowed to take anything into the room. Not even their mobile phone. So they sit there. After a minute or 2, what do you think happens? They get restless. So then they start looking around. They see a button in the middle of the table. What do you think happens next? Press the button. They get a shock. Electric shock. What do you think happens next? Press it again. People press it again. After some time, they press it again. What does this tell you? I prefer to receive electrical shocks rather than just being. Spending time to just be. And it doesn't mean you have to go to the mountains. It doesn't mean standing on one leg. What we did for 3 minutes is an example of how you can increase your being, consciousness. The second thing is feeling. From being to feeling. Compassion. As leaders, how can we be more compassionate in our leadership? And people often ask me. I was speaking at Wharton Business School some time back, and somebody said, but does this mean I can't be tough? Are you saying I should only be kind? I said, no, where is the or coming from? There is no tough or kind. Be tough and kind. It's not a compromise. Compassion is not being soft. Compassion is doing the right thing for the other person, whatever that is. Understanding their position and doing the right thing for them, even if it is difficult. Difficult for you and difficult for them. Right? It's like your child, I'm sure many of us here are parents. The child wants to eat chocolate, what do? You won't keep on giving, right? At some point you say, no, it's not good for you. It's the same thing with people we lead. It's not different. Leadership is no different from parenting. Taking tough decisions with kindness, discipline, compassion. So first thing is being, the second thing is feeling, and the third thing is doing. So when you operate from being and feeling, there is a very different quality of doing that happens. Creativity. Whether it's in problem solving or decision making, it's incredible what happens. I know a little bit about this because I've written a bestseller about it. As I said, IDEO is considered one of the most creative companies in the world. And working there and seeing really creative people operate, like really curious, how do they do this? So when you're operating with a certain clarity of mind, like you experienced a little bit maybe, then some feeling starts to automatically come, feelings of compassion, and then it flows into your action. What you do is operating from consciousness, operating from compassion, and then there is a game changer that happens. So, my 2 cents on how I look at this. That's the end. I don't know, there was perhaps one last slide which got missed out. I'm happy to take questions, but hey, you know what? I'm actually reminded of a story I want to tell you. So we've spoken about success, right? So there was this Zen master, very famous, wise guy. And he lived in a kingdom where the king was really interested in finding out what was heaven and what was hell. So the king announces a competition. Says, anybody who can tell me meaning of heaven and hell, where to find these things, bag of gold. So somebody came and said, you sacrifice whatever, 100 cows, you will get to heaven. Brahmin guy came and said, you feed 100 Brahmins like me, you will go to heaven. So different people said different things, but the king was not satisfied at all. Finally, somebody said to him, there's a Zen master who lives in the forest. Why don't you go and ask him? So the king takes the whole journey to go to the forest, takes him a whole day. When he reaches, the master is sitting with his eyes closed and doing whatever he was doing. And there's a boy sweeping outside. So the king goes on his horse, right? And he says to the boy, hey, can you please tell your master that I'm here to see him? The boy says, master cannot be disturbed. You'll have to wait. So kings, as you know, don't like to be kept waiting. Right? So he had to wait. He got really upset. Finally, after about half an hour, the master says, now you can come in. The king goes in and he says, Master, I want to know what is heaven and what is hell. People said you will help me find the answer. So the master looks at him and says, O king, what a fool you must be. So the king is furious. Nobody has ever called him a fool, right? So he takes off his sword and he puts it to the master's head and he says, you know what? Right now I can cut off your head. Master says, that is hell. The king realizes in that moment that he has lost control over his own emotions. He falls at the Zen master's feet and says, I'm sorry, forgive me. Master lifts him up and says, this, my king, is heaven. So heaven and hell are not some places we go to later. Heaven and hell are here right now for us to find, just like success. Success too is right here for us to find. Thank you for putting up with me. Those are my coordinates if anyone's interested. This is the kind of work that I do. I help people and companies train people with emotional intelligence, mindfulness, and for better leadership. Thank you for having me here today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I have enjoyed myself. I don't know about you. But yeah, thank you once again, and over to you.
Thank you so much. Do we have any questions for Gopi?
Go for it.
So my name is Darshan.
Hi, Darshan.
Hi, I'm a CEO of Venga Watson. We are a recruiting firm past 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is, I would love to know, how is your routine during weekdays and weekends as a CEO?
You sure you want me to bore you with that?
I would love to know.
All right, Darshan. My day starts early, and by early I mean pretty early. So on good days it's probably well before 4:30. I start my day with brushing my teeth. You heard me talk about that. I spend actually the first couple of hours of every day investing in myself. Because I believe that if I'm not in a good place, then I'm not going to be able to do a good job of the people I lead, or the people I take care of, the people I love. So I invest a couple of hours every day in myself, taking care of myself. So that includes mental training, that includes physical working out. Once I get into my days can be different. Sometimes I'm teaching, sometimes it's like running a company, running business. So then it's sitting with the team. Teaching is what I love the most. That's my passion, my purpose, and if I'm teaching, then I can just go for days without anything, food, water, stuff like that. I've dramatically been able to change my health over the last 15 years. I come from a family which has diabetes, cholesterol, hypertension. My siblings, my parents, and I'm really grateful that till today I've kept away from all of that. Zero medication. I eat once a day, almost only once a day. Spending time in nature, spending time with animals, that's a part of, helps me with being, with the consciousness side of things, so I make sure I try and do that. I spoke about compassion. I like to engage with people, whether it's my team or others, and try and help them bring out the best in themselves. I think that's what my day usually looks like. I can also enjoy a drink in the evening sometimes, in case you were wondering. Yeah, thank you. Any other questions? Anybody else would like to ask or share anything? I'm happy to.
You feel that you are pretty emotional to that case, and business says that you don't have to do such kind of things, so you always have a dilemma,
Yeah.
like the guy need to be fired or not.
Mm.
So then in that case, how we need to react, how we need to take action.
That's a great question. See, emotion is a funny thing. We typically think we're all very rational human beings. Nothing is further from the truth. Most of our decision making is based on emotions. What kind of work should I take? What job should I keep? What job should I not keep? Who should I marry? Who should I unmarry? All of this stuff is highly emotional. And this is one of the most neglected things. Where are we taught to manage our emotions? Nowhere. Are we taught in school? No. School makes you hyper competitive. College we're not taught, university we're not taught, at work we're not taught. But then this is one of the most important skills that is required. Right? Through simple practices like what we did, there is scientific evidence today to show that you're building neural pathways in your brain, new pathways, which then help you regulate those emotions. So the next time somebody says something that pisses you off, instead of throwing something at them, you will actually eventually be able to perhaps smile at them and say, hey, can we have a conversation about this? Completely doable. You may not believe me when I tell you this. There was a time when I used to suffer from serious road rage. Long back. And somebody cut me off or did something, I would go after the guy. I was into martial arts and all that, so I was like. Nowadays, when somebody cuts me off, I smile at them. It gives them road rage. Metro? What about the metro?
You smile at them from the metro?
No, I smile at them on the road itself. Yeah. So it's a great question, and I think as leaders, a very important question for us to reflect on and look at. Emotional intelligence is the most important skill today. Check out this book by Daniel Goleman, EQ, Why It Is More Important Than IQ.
There is a three thoughts always we used to follow. When you are happy, don't promise.
Mm.
When you are angry, don't react.
Mm.
When you are sad,
Mm.
don't take decisions.
Mm. Yeah, so that's basically not giving in to that emotion to any extreme, right? Yeah, sure. Would you like the microphone there?
Thank you. Wonderful session. Enjoyed every bit of it. Thank you. I'm Aditya.
Hi, Aditya.
Question is, I like those 3 C's. You spoke about consciousness, compassion, and creatively. I mean, doing things creatively. If you could just expand a little about that, doing things creatively. You told us about those 3 breathing techniques for consciousness, and I presume that will also help us in being compassionate. But about doing creatively, I'm wondering whether this helps or
Okay.
there is something else.
Sure. That's a great question. How much time do we have? Okay, can I take the next maybe 2? Making anybody feel impatient? Let me ask you this, and this is a question to anybody here. When have you had aha moments? When suddenly some idea has come for you? When? Huh? Morning. Who said bathroom? I said. Oh, I'm not going to ask you what you were doing there. Right? But bathroom, morning. What else? Reading a book on a train. On a treadmill. Great. What is common between when you're sitting on a beach watching a sunset? Right?
When you are relaxed.
Where did that come from? Relaxed? Bathroom. When you're relaxed. No, I love that. And I love that you're relaxed in the bathroom, because most times these days people go into the bathroom to do a job. And then they just want to finish the job, properly or not, I don't know. But the key thing here is when you're relaxed, right? So look at this. Problem solving is happening when you're relaxed. This is your experience, this is not me telling you. Okay, now let's go into history. Do you know how Einstein came up with the theory of relativity? Does anybody here know? Quiz question. Yeah, while relaxed, yeah, of course. No, that was Archimedes. But you're right, that's a great example too. Archimedes, bathtub. Einstein dreamt of the theory of relativity. Go check it out. Google will tell you. You look at many other scientific principles. Newton, he was sitting under a tree. Apple fell. He was sitting under a tree, wondering what to do with life, and apple fell. You look at musicians. Mozart. Mozart has composed entire symphonies in his sleep. And he just wakes up and he writes the whole symphony down. Have you heard of Salvador Dali? The impressionist, surrealist painter. He was a master at this. You know what he would do? He would sit like this on a chair with his canvas next to him, paints and everything ready. And he would hold a spoon in his hand with a saucer on the floor. And he would close his eyes. What happens after some time? Deep breathing. He drops the spoon, it makes a noise, right? He would get up and paint whatever image was in his mind without opening his eyes. That's how he came up with the bent clock. This is one of the most famous paintings of all time. The bent clock. Check it out.
Isn't that the Selva's method? That's what Nikhil.
Similar. So where I'm going with this, if you look at some of the greatest discoveries in science, in business, in your own life, aha moments happen when you're deeply relaxed. Not when there is a gun to your head. Most times at least. But here's the contradiction. Most times in life, we are trying to solve a problem when the gun is to the head. Right? And as leaders, we're doing that also. We're telling our teams, you do this otherwise. Paradox here. So, long answer to your great question is, how do you train yourself then to find these? And there are so many wonderful techniques, right? You can ask your mind a problem, go to sleep and wake up with ideas. I think, I can't remember who, one great scientist says, it's a waste of a night if you go to sleep without asking your mind a question before you sleep. Subconscious. Right? So creativity, most times we think is a default thing. Oh, somebody is creative because they were born creative. There's nothing like that really. It can be taught, it can be learned, it can be built as a skill. Yes, maybe some of us are born a little more, mischievous and creative than others, but this is something that can be taught. Thank you for asking that question. I know it's a long answer, but I've tried to compress it. You look at history, you look at your own life, you look at neuroscience, plenty of evidence to suggest that creativity happens when the mind is in an alpha state. Great question. Yes, of course, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
The three breaths that you press through after you ask the question, what's the problem you have, right? Well, after that, yeah, thank you. After that, you asked us, did that problem become simple or something to that effect, right? I was surprised because during those three breaths, I didn't think of that problem at all. So my question to you is, at what stage of mindfulness am I? Because at that time I followed your instruction is what I think. That I just thought about my breaths.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, my question back again is repeating is that at what stage of mindfulness am I?
So the answer to that is you are at whatever stage you are right now. Maybe tomorrow you'll be at a different stage, but that's not the point. The point is, did it alter your state? Did it shift your state? Was it helpful? That is all that matters. Right? Instead of, I always tell people, this is not a journey you take to get to a destination. If someone had asked me one day, would you be teaching mindfulness? I would have laughed at them. I would have said, no way. Right? It was a journey. It was a personal journey. So don't worry about what state. Does it do something for you? Does it feel good? Does it make you feel relaxed, more calm? Just do it. The results will start to come, and then automatically, whatever stage, maybe after a couple of years, who knows, you might be teaching. You never know. You already have the beard and all that. Unlike me, you're already there. Great question. Yeah. Don't worry about this is not a destination at all. The journey is the destination. Start taking it. See what happens. Your life changes.
Very nice.
That's okay. Speak up. We can hear.
Thank you. It's a great section.
Thank you.
Really, a lot of information.
Thank you.
One question just I want to ask. All things, whatever we discuss, it leads to the what I'm thinking is main culprit is time. It's a time. Because money can be more or less.
Okay.
But time cannot be nothing in our